Why, hello there, everybody. Out again. This is actually the second video I'm recording today. The other one was the video where I went to Northrop Falls. That should already be up, I'd imagine. But now I've driven a little further north in Tennessee here to the Big South Fork. And what we're going to do now is we are going to go to, well, a whole bunch of arches in this area. Decided to kind of 86 the rest of the waterfalls because it's sunnier than I like for waterfalls today, so we'll do arches instead. So this first arch I'm looking for today is called Hammock Arch. I've never been to this. I'm excited to be hitting some of these arches because I've done a ton of arches in Kentucky, but only really a few in Tennessee. I could probably count on one hand how many I've done. So it'll be nice to hit up some of Tennessee's arches, and new arches in general are always nice, but there's a ton, absolute ton in this area. Could keep me busy for months and months, but I picked out a small selection of some that I think should be nice, so hopefully these will be some impressive ones that will be worth shooting. We'll find out, I guess. I swear, if it's not rhododendrons, it's mountain laurel. Ugh. This stuff is awful to move through. Absolutely awful. But I'm seeing the drop off up here. Right there, it looks like we're about to drop off. I assume the arch should be right below me. This is much more substantial of a drop than the topo map led to believe. I'll see if there's an easy way down. Okay, so I'm going down exploring further down the cliff looking for a way down. I think I see one down there, but what's really bizarre to me, and I think the camera picks this up, is that there's a very clear trail down there. That's not like, you know, a lightly worn user trail or anything. That thing's substantially packed down. I have no idea what that is. That is not on the map, on any of the maps, whether it be USGS, US Forest Service, none of them. So I don't know what's up with the maps in this area. This does not come across as a cliff line on the topo lines. That trail's not on there. I don't know. So clearly the map for this area is outdated and not very good. Yeah, so check out what I found here. This is like an actual trail. And at first I thought, well, maybe it's just an old logging road that's still really well defined, but look. These are erosion control. Those are boards that were placed down for erosion control. They're all down here, so this is clearly a trail. I don't know what trail it is. It's not on any of the maps. There is a trailhead that I started at, so maybe this is the trail, but on the map, that trail, and there's a blaze up here too, but on the map, that trail just goes out and follows an old logging road and just stops, and certainly doesn't go below the cliff line here. So I have no idea what the story with that is, but I'll take this, a nice easy trail. I didn't have to go through all that mountain lore after all, but sometimes that's just how it goes, but it's pretty neat down here. I like this. So I couldn't really tell from the top, but I could have totally gotten down right here too. Where I was before was like right there. I couldn't tell if that was a cliff there or not from where I was standing, but as it turns out, yes, I could have gone down that. Oh well, I didn't want to get too close. I couldn't really tell. I didn't have any good way to tether to get like close to the edge or anything, so I played it safe, especially since I'm alone. Anyway, the important thing is I'm pretty sure, I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure the arch is in this big boulder right here, so let's climb up there and take a look, shall we? Alright, so what I thought was a big boulder is actually just a knob on the cliff, but I walked around it and I see the arch. Do you? That's actually kind of neat. Let's get up here and take a closer look. But yeah, that's a neat little arch. Look at that. So this is called Hammock Arch. That's pretty neat. I like that. And there's actually, so you got the main arch here, obviously a little pillar, but then right down here we got a little window. A very little window, but it's neat nonetheless. Take a look from the other side. Oh yeah, that's a really cool formation. I really like that. Okay, so this is a really cool arch. I actually really like this one. Not only is the arch itself cool, but just take a look at some of the formations on the rock. I mean, all throughout this rock you got all this crazy banding, Lysanger banding, I think is what it's called, something like that. I'm no geologist, but yeah, it's super cool. And you get over here, now this is stuff I've seen all over this part of the Kentucky, where you got these really thin, delicate layers. I don't want to touch them too much because they are extremely delicate, break off real easily. But yeah, look at that. And right there is another little arch forming, a few thousand years in the making maybe. So just a little real-time follow-up here. This trail does indeed show up on the National Geographic map, so I guess I should check that one too, but I never even thought to look for this being on a trail, to be honest. I didn't realize it was on one. But yeah, there is indeed a trail, so do not need to go fighting through the mountain laurel next time, which is good to know. Okay, so as I said, the next planned destination here is Needle Arch, and that's still what I'm doing. I'm actually getting ready to start the hike right now. But I just wanted to update you. I actually was able to pull down the Nat Geo map, as I said back there, and I consulted this. This is also on a trail, so I had no idea. So as it turns out, in terms of trails in the Big South Fork, you want the National Geographic map. Most of the stuff I've been to in Big South Fork isn't on trail, so I've never really bothered to pay that much attention, I guess. But the USGS and the US Forest Service maps are basically useless for the trail system here. Yeah, let's get out of the car and actually go see some arches, shall we? It says Needle Arch right there on the sign. I feel a little bit silly for not realizing this was on a trail. I don't know how I missed that, to be honest. I probably knew it was on a trail at one point, but when I was kind of gathering everything yesterday, I was just going by waypoints in Gaia that I've saved. And like I said, on the USGS maps, it doesn't show a trail here. So I guess I just never made that connection that it might be on a trail. But not only is it along an official trail, it's marked on the sign even, so yeah, I got no excuses for that one. I definitely should have realized that, but oh well, doesn't really matter, I guess. But yeah, we're headed on towards Needle Arch. Slave Falls is also out this way, which I knew about, but I don't think it'll be flowing. I think that's really wet weather dependent, but yeah, anyway, onwards to Needle Arch. Okay, so continuing on the trend of things making me feel just downright silly today. I can see the arch. I did not expect it to be this big at all. I'm not sure why, but for some reason I thought this was a small arch coming off the side of the cliff. And it is an arch coming off the side of the cliff, but this thing's massive. This is significant. And I guess I didn't realize that. I did not appreciate that when I planned to come here, so I guess I just did not do any research before this. I don't know, guys. But the arch is here. I'm in front of it. And this is extremely cool. Check this out. Okay, so this has been one of those arches that's been really fun to shoot, and that's not the case with a lot of arches. Arches can be really difficult and really frustrating to shoot, and some of them you just flat out can't shoot and make look good. But this is one of the ones that is just a ton of fun to shoot. You got a ton of options. I've shot it all over the place from both sides here. I just shot what I think is probably my favorite comp. It's always hard to tell by looking at the back of the camera, but I've tried a bunch of different things here, and I really am enjoying my time at this arch. But I'm gonna walk around, make sure there are no other comps I want to try before I decide what the next phase of this adventure is going to be. Okay, I still need to pack up the camera, but I figured out what I'm gonna do next. I can continue this on and either loop around to the car, or there's actually another little chute that goes off. And because of that, I'm going to take that and try to find a couple more arches. There's actually supposed to be another arch right down here not far, but I am pretty sure I determined that it's really tiny and not worthwhile, but I'll make sure. But then we'll go down like we're completing the loop, but jump off on this other trail, I don't remember what it is, and follow that for a bit. And I think there will be 2 across the creek we'll be following that are worthwhile. There are a lot more than that in that general area, but there are only 2 that I marked as possibly being worthwhile. So, all right, so here's that other arch I mentioned that's just down from Needle. This is called Mill Creek Arch. It's a decent little hole there, but not worth shooting. It's just here in the roof of a rock shelter. And sadly, as per the usual in Kentucky, some absolute moron has built a fire under it. Alright, so here's what I ended up deciding to do. It is nearly noon. I was kind of continuing on that offshoot I mentioned for those other arches. I decided it was going to be way too big of a time sink. I had to go way down there. We would have had to go down a steep incline, across the creek, back up a steep incline. It would just take entirely too long, and there's other things I wanted to do. So I decided to turn around, and what I'm going to do, well, what I'm doing instead is I actually decided to come by here and check out Slave Falls, since it was 9.2 miles. Not expecting it to be more than a trickle, but that's actually a lot more water than I expected, so I'm going to go down there and photograph it. Okay, so for this one I just went for the super simple, obvious shot there. It's nothing spectacular, and there are probably better comps if I went down there, but to be honest, this water flow just isn't worth the effort, I don't feel like. In the right conditions, however, if we got just a really good rain event, and I say this all the time, I know, but an epic rain event, this falls would absolutely be worth shooting. Yeah, I'm going to pack up the camera, figure out how to loop back around here. I'm a little bit uncertain looking at the map. It almost looks like I can go this way and meet up another trail and really cut some time out of this. I'm not sure. It's hard to tell. There's a reason I don't like the National Geographic maps. They kind of suck, to be honest. Worst case scenario, I got to backtrack. Alright, so originally I said I was going to go to Twin Arches next, which was the plan. Went to the parking area, and apparently everyone had the idea to go to Twin Arches today. So I decided to just scratch that. So what I've done is I've come back on up into Kentucky, into the Daniel Boone National Forest, and I'm just going to hike out to Gobbler's Arch real fast. I've shot this arch before, but I've never been here on video, and it's only like a quarter mile out here, so I figured I might as well hike out here. This is probably going to be the last arch for the day. I'm getting kind of tired now. I started this whole adventure at like 3:45 this morning. I think that's when I got out to the car. So anyway, this is a short, easy one. So let's go up here and check out Gobbler's Arch. It's a nice one if you haven't seen it. Okay, so here it is, Gobbler's Arch. Pretty significant arch, as you can see. Okay, I spent some time playing with some compositions here. To be completely honest, I'm not feeling overly inspired to shoot this arch, and I think it's just because I've already shot it, like I said, and when I did shoot it, I kind of wore out all the comps there are, I think. So I'm not really seeing anything new, so it's not making me feel particularly inspired. So I think I'm done here at Gobbler's Arch. I'm going to go ahead and pack up the stuff and head out, and then that's probably where I'll sign off the video, but we'll see. All right, I see the car up here, which means headed out of the woods. So I think that's about all I'm going to do today. I got a long drive to get home. So I'm going to go ahead. Thank you guys for watching this kind of discombobulated arch adventure down here in the Big South Fork on Daniel Boone National Forest. But I'll see you guys on the next adventure.